Hello and welcome to On the Mat with Lydia. That's me. And whatever has brought you to your yoga practice today, you are very welcome here. Today's class is all about entering without expectations. So this is a flow style yoga class where you'll have the chance to explore some funkier variations of our postures. And within that exploration, you have the freedom to leave your expectations at the door, letting go of how you think the poses need to look, how you think you should feel, and just allowing yourself to be in the experience of your yoga practice, whatever that feels like for you today. So remember, you always have the opportunity to experiment with these postures, and as always, take things at your own pace and listen to your body first. I also recommend for this practice that you have some props nearby, specifically yoga blocks if you have them. If not, you can always use like a water bottle, a stack of books, maybe even like a low table or chair. You can also grab a blanket, a strap, whatever yoga props that you like to use in your practice. And when you're ready, let's get on the mat. Let's begin in a comfortable seated position on the mat. So if you're not already there, take a moment to find any comfortable seat, anchoring down through your sits bones, lengthening up through your spine. And then if it feels safe and comfortable for you, you can close your eyes completely. Otherwise, finding a soft gaze towards the floor in front of you. And allowing your body to settle into stillness. Allowing yourself to arrive on your mat today. And taking a moment now to scan your awareness through your body from head to toe. And simply notice how you're feeling today. Notice anything that you've brought with you onto your yoga mat. Acknowledging that without judgment, without the need to change anything. Using this scan to almost take inventory as you begin your practice today, so that you can really notice the subtle shifts that happen throughout your practice. And as you complete your body scan, allowing your awareness to rest with your breath, feeling into the flow of each inhale and exhale. And with each round of breath, letting go of any judgment, any expectations for your yoga practice today. Allowing yourself to enter this practice with an open mind and an open heart, ready to meet yourself wherever you're at today. Let's take just a few more rounds of breath to center into practice today. All together, taking one more inhale. And exhale out with a sigh or a sound. And if your eyes are closed, fluttering them open, returning to the light in your space. And all together, let's transition onto hands and knees. Find your tabletop position. So take your time as you move into this shape here, setting yourself up with palms planted on the mat, shins pressing down. And starting off with a nice long spine here, crown of your head reaching forward, tailbone lengthening back. Now as you inhale, draw your shoulder blades together, let your heart lift, finding your cow pose here. And as you exhale, rounding your upper back, tucking your chin, finding your cat pose. Again, inhaling, starting to arch through your back, lifting your chest, find cow. And exhale, rounding into your spine, stretching through your back body, finding your cat. Please take a few more rounds through your cat-cow with your own breath. Starting to wake up your body here, moving along the length of your spine. And again, just noticing how your body feels here as we begin our practice today. Without the need to judge anything, label it as good or bad, but simply sitting with whatever is there. Let's take one more full round of breath to move through this cat-cow. And at the bottom of your next exhale, returning to your nice long spine, finding tabletop position. Gently hugging your navel in and up, feeling the support from your core. You'll start to tuck the left toes and slide your left heel back behind you, keeping your foot on the floor. Feel that length back through your left heel. And then start to travel your left foot over to the right edge of your mat. So crossing left leg behind right. As you reach back through your heel, look over your right shoulder so that you can see your toes. Keeping that navel lifting in and up. Nice strong core as you stretch through your left side waist. Breathing in. And breathing out. As you inhale, bring your head and shoulders back to center. As you exhale, bring that left leg behind you again, just about in line with your right foot. Now that inner left heel is going to drop down. Right shin is going to turn towards that right side of your mat. So it's going to take a little pivot on the knee here. Then shifting weight into your right hand, take an inhale, sweep your left arm to the sky, coming into a side plank here. Pushing up and away from the mat with that right hand, feeling the strength of your core helping you to lift your hips. And let's stay for another breath in and breath out. All right, here comes the fun part. Using that core connection that we've been cultivating. Take your next inhale to lift up off of that right hand. Come all the way to stand on that right knee. Take an inhale, get tall. Exhale, reach up and over towards your left foot. Right arm to the sky, left hand to your left leg. Stretching into our gate pose here. Let's stay for another inhale. And exhale. Inhale, coming back up tall through center. Exhale, dropping that right hand back down to your side plank. Then unwinding the same way we came in, bringing the left hand down, turning that right shin back, and then bringing your left knee to meet your right, tabletop position. Awesome job. Take a moment to shake it out here before we come to the other side. And meeting once again in your tabletop position, nice long spine. This time tucking your right toes, start to slide your right heel back behind you, lengthening through that right leg. Keep that length as you travel your right foot to the left side of your mat, crossing the legs. And then look back over your left shoulder. See if you can spot those right toes. Stretching into your right side waist here. Keeping this lift of your chest, lift of your navel. Let's take another breath in. And breath out. Inhale to bring head and shoulders back to center. Exhale, right leg comes behind you, staying in line with that left foot. Awesome. Now dropping that inner right heel down. Start to turn your left shin towards the left side of your mat. Then anchoring through your left palm, inhale, sweep your right arm to the sky, finding your side plank. Pushing up away from the mat like you're trying to lift your entire body up towards the sky. feeling that strength underneath the waist, feeling that length on the top of the waist. Beautiful. Take another inhale here. Stay for your exhale. Feel that hugging of your navel meeting your spine. And as you inhale, lift up off that left hand, rise up towards your gaze. Taking another inhale at the top. And exhale to reach up and over into your side bend. Lightly landing right hand on right leg as your left arm reaches up and over. Let's take a breath in and breath out. Next inhale lifts you back up through center, tall spine. Exhale, landing your left palm, come back towards your side plank. Awesome. Unwinding here, bring your right hand down. Turn your left shin back to center. And then right knee meets your left, coming to your tabletop position. Again, opportunity here to shake it out a little bit, maybe wiggle around. And then when you're ready, planting through your hands, tucking your toes. Let's lift the hips up and back and come to downward facing dog. Take a moment to pedal out your heels here, bending one knee then the other. Almost like you're walking here in your downward facing dog, getting some stretch into the backs of the legs. And then settling into stillness here in your downward facing dog with your heels lifted, your knees bent. Feet are about hips width distance, maybe slightly wider. Rooting down through the balls of the feet here. So feeling that big toe mound especially, really pushing down into the floor. Now with your next inhale, start to shift your weight forward, coming onto your toes, pushing into the palms. Find a plank pose. Then with your next exhale, lift your hips up and back. Come towards your downward facing dog. Now before we do that again, notice if you had to move your hands or your feet. Try and keep them where they are for that plank position as you shift back to down dog. So let's play with that again. Inhaling, shifting forward to your plank. And then exhaling, hips lift up and back, downward facing dog. Good, a few more rounds here. Inhale, shifting forward. Exhale, rocking back. With the flow of your breath, inhale forward. Exhale back. This time, inhaling forward to your plank. As you exhale, lift your hips, but lift your right leg as well. Three-legged dog. Inhale here. Exhale, bring your right knee towards your nose, shift your weight forward, and step that right foot in between your hands. Beautiful. Left knee gently lowers to the mat, finding your low lunge. And let's take a moment here to move the hips around a little bit. So just moving the hips in any way that feels natural to you. Exploring sensation as you rock the hips forward and back. Maybe take some circles. And then notice where you want to land in your low lunge today. So finding that place where you can plant down through your front foot and drop your hips just enough that you get some stretch for the front of your left hip. From there, rooting down as you inhale, rise your arms up, find low lunge. Exhale, hands float right back down to the mat. Inhale, send your right knee back to meet your left. Big toes come together as you exhale, sit your hips back to child's pose. Taking an inhale here. Exhale. Lengthening your fingertips forward, inhale. Sitting your hips back, exhale. Next, inhale, rocking your weight forward until your shoulders stack over your wrists. Bringing your toes apart so that your feet can be in line with your knees, finding a kneeling plank position. Let's take another inhale here. As you exhale, elbows graze your ribs, lower all the way to your belly. Inhale, rise your chest any amount. Find a little baby cobra. And exhale, forehead floats back to the floor. As you inhale, press up through your all fours. And exhale, tuck your toes, lift your hips, come into downward facing dog. Take a moment here, set up your hands and feet just like we did before. Let's take a breath in and breath out. With your next inhale, rocking your weight forward, finding your plank. As you exhale, lifting your hips up and back, down dog. Keep this going with your breath. You know what to do. Noticing how it feels to really move with your breath here. So using that full inhale to draw you forward into your plank, that entire length of your exhale to press back to down dog. Beautiful. The next time that you exhale, lifting your hips and lifting your left leg, three-legged dog. Inhale here. Exhale, drawing your left knee towards your nose. Step your left foot to the top of your mat. Right knee lowers down, setting up for a low lunge on this side. First few breaths, your opportunity just to move the hips. So moving around in any way that feels good here as we find our lunge shape today. Noticing how this feels on this side of your body. And allowing yourself to set up into that low lunge. Does not have to look or feel the same way that it did on the other side. Once you feel rooted here, take an inhale to rise your arms. And then exhale, hands float right back down to your mat. Sliding your left knee back to meet your right, big toes come together. And using your exhale, shift your hips back towards your heels, child's pose. Taking a breath in here. And breath out. Inhale. And exhale. With your inhale, rocking your weight forward, shoulders stack over wrists. Exhale, setting up your legs into that kneeling plank position. Navel draws in and up as you inhale here. Exhale, lower down all the way onto your belly. Inhale, rise your chest any amount, baby cobra, maybe lifting a little higher towards cobra. And exhale, forehead to the mat. Inhale, pushing up through all fours. Beautiful. Exhale, back to downward facing dog. Let's take a breath in here. And let it out. With your next inhale, bending your knees, take your gaze forward. As you exhale, take a nice slow walk towards the top of your mat. Feet coming forward to meet your hands, upper body resting down into a forward fold. If you'd like, you can take a moment to sway side to side here. Maybe bending and straightening your knees. Again, noticing how you feel in your body and what shapes are going to make your body feel even better. From here, anchoring down through the soles of your feet. Take an inhale, rise all the way up to standing, maybe arms sweep to the sky. As you exhale, arms come down by your sides to Tadasana, mountain pose. Let's pause for just a moment here, rooting through your feet, lifting up tall through the crown of your head. And just notice how you feel in your body right now. So maybe the eyes can close or your gaze can soften. Becoming aware of your breath. the sensations in your body, and giving yourself permission to move in any way that feels good for you today. One of the beautiful things about our yoga practice is that it looks and feels different in every body. So giving yourself that permission to experience that for yourself today. From the top of your mat, let's take an inhale to sweep our arms to the sky. As you exhale, fold forward. Take your time coming down. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen your spine. As you exhale, plant your palms to the mat and step your feet all the way back into your downward facing dog. As you arrive in your downward dog, think about pushing through your hands to lift your hips a little higher, allowing your knees to bend a little or a lot and your heels to be lifted off the floor. And then shifting weight over to your left foot, let's inhale, sweep the right leg back, three-legged dog. As you exhale, bend your knee, open your hip, drawing right heel to left glute. Feeling length through that right thigh as you open the hips. Let's take another inhale here. As you exhale, shift your weight forward, knee to nose, and step your right foot in between your hands. Dropping your inner left heel down, let's set up for warrior two. Taking your inhale to rise all the way up. Just like we did in our low lunge, take a moment to kind of wiggle your hips around. Find that place where you want to land in your warrior two today. Finding that heel to heel or heel to arch alignment through your feet, and then rooting down as evenly as you can between both feet. So finding your weight centered right there in the middle. Now the legs are going to stay as our strong foundations here as we play a little bit through the upper body. So with your next inhale, flip your right palm to the sky. As you exhale, reach your right arm up and back, find reverse warrior. Inhale right here. Now as you exhale, bring it all the way forward, right arm to right thigh, left arm to the sky, extended side angle. Now inhale sends you right up and back to your reverse warrior. As you exhale, bring it all the way forward to side angle. Let's keep this going a few more rounds with your breath. Feeling that core connection helping you out here through these transitions. So from the navel down, we're staying really strong, really rooted. And then from the rib cage up, we're finding this freedom to flow. Inhaling into that reverse warrior. Exhaling to that side angle. Now this time as you inhale, reaching back to reverse warrior. As you exhale, hands come all the way down to frame your right foot, squaring off your hips. And let's step it back into downward facing dog. Take a breath in here. And breath out. Shifting weight to your right foot now. Inhale, left leg sweeps back. Exhale, bending your knee, open your hip. Draw left heel towards right glute. Now, as you open through your hips, try your best to keep your shoulders squared, chest is facing the floor. And let's take another inhale here. As you exhale, weight shifts forward, knee to nose. Step your left foot in between your hands. Inner back heel drops down, setting up for warrior two. Take your inhale to rise up. First few breaths, yours to move around, readjust. Explore where you want to land in your warrior two, knowing it might feel a little bit different on this side. And eventually finding that strong bend in your front knee. Finding that strong push through the outer edge of your back foot. And finding those foundations of the lower body so that we can have some fun here through the upper body. So when you're ready, inhaling to flip your left palm. Exhale, reaching up and back, find reverse warrior. Staying for the inhale, reaching through left fingertips. As you exhale, shifting your weight forward, left arm to left thigh, right arm to the sky, side angle. Then inhale, right up and back to reverse warrior. Exhale, bringing it forward, find your side angle. You know what to do, keep it going. Inhaling, reverse warrior. Exhaling, side angle. Feeling that nothing is changing through the legs here. We're keeping that even pressure through both feet, that strong engagement through both legs. And that strength of the core here is really what's helping us to transition from one shape to the next. So feeling into all that stuff that's going on in the body just in these poses. Inhaling back to your reverse warrior. And this time as you exhale, hands come all the way to the mat, squaring off your hips, stepping back into downward facing dog. Let's take a breath in here. And breath out. Option to stay right here or inhale, shift forward to your plank. Exhale, lower your knees, lower your chest to the mat. Inhale, lifting your heart, finding a back bend. And exhale, making your way back to downward facing dog, however you want to move to get there. Finding your breath here. Coming back to a steady rhythm of inhales and exhales, whatever that feels like for you today. And then when you're ready, shifting weight to your left foot. Inhale, sweeping your right leg back. Exhale, bend your knee, open your hip. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, shift your weight forward, draw knee to nose, and step your right foot to the top of your mat. Back heel anchors down, setting up for warrior two. Take your inhale to rise up. Setting up in your warrior two here, readjust as needed, and then eventually settle into stillness. Feel that rooting down through your lower body, lifting up through the crown of your head. And with your next inhale, flip your right palm. Exhale, reach up and back, reverse warrior. Inhale right here. Exhale forward, find side angle. Just 2 more times this time. Inhale back to reverse warrior. Exhale forward to side angle. Follow your breath. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, side angle. Now inhale, reaching up and back to reverse warrior, this time starting to straighten through your front leg. As you exhale, bring your arms to a T, set up for your triangle pose. So soft bend in that right knee. Make sure we're not locking out that joint, but we're keeping it nice and buoyant. And then feel this length out through your fingertips, just like we do in warrior two. We're going to keep this length as we inhale, shift the left hip back, reach the right arm forward. Then exhale, tipping over to bring your right hand down, left arm up, finding Trikonasana, triangle pose. Now that right hand can land above the knee, below the knee. Maybe this is a time to grab your block. Great place to use that here. Just finding your hand wherever you can keep length through the rest of your body here. So we have that wingspan through the arms, we have this lengthening through the spine, and we have this length through the legs. Breathing into all that. Let's take another inhale here. And stay for the exhale. Now left hand will travel to your left hip. Right hand is going to go for that top right corner of your mat. So from your pinky toe, draw a diagonal line towards that right corner and drop your hand or start to reach towards that place. Shifting your weight into your right foot, take an inhale to prepare. Then exhale, lift your left leg, keeping your hips and heart open as you find your half moon balance pose. So that right hand might be on the block, you might be able to reach all the way to the floor. But again, wherever you are, keeping that length of our triangle pose, this openness of the hips and chest. Now that left leg does not have to lift high. If it wants to stay a little bit lower today, you might even keep your toes on the ground. Just starting to play with your balance today. Remember, our yoga practice will be different for every single person, and that's the beauty of it. It's also going to be different for you every single day. So check out where you want to go today. Let's stay for another inhale here. As you exhale, start to drop your left hip and shoulder towards the floor, bending into your right knee, lightly landing your left toes all the way at the back of your mat or in a lunge. Beautiful. Back knee can stay lifted or lower to the mat, your choice. Let's root down through that left palm, and with an inhale, sweep your right arm to the sky. Take a twist. Finding that wingspan once again from fingertips to fingertips. Spreading your collarbones and breathing into that space of your chest. Let's take one more nice inhale here. As you exhale, slowly unwind your twist, palms to the mat. Stepping back to your downward facing dog, right foot meets your left, hips lift to the sky. Let's take an inhale here. And exhale. When you're ready, shifting weight to your right foot. Inhale, left leg sweeps back. Exhale, bend your knee, open your hip. Inhaling here. As you exhale, knee to nose, feel that core connection. And then step your left foot to the top of your mat. Right heel anchors down, setting up for warrior two. Take your inhale to rise up. Readjust, move around as needed to find your warrior two on this side. And then finding stillness, anchoring down through your legs, lifting up through your heart. We'll take the next inhale to flip the left palm. As you exhale, reach up and back, find reverse warrior. Inhale here. As you exhale, come all the way forward, find your side angle. Two more times here, inhaling up and back. Exhaling to side angle. One more, inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, side angle. Now inhaling to reverse warrior, reach that left arm back. And start to straighten through that left leg. Exhale, arms come to a T, upright your spine, setting up for triangle. So again, soft bend in that left knee, really pushing down through the foot to find our strength. And then kicking that right hip back, start to reach the left arm forward, inhale. Exhale, hinging from your hips to drop a left hand down, reach right arm up. And find your triangle pose. So again, left hand can land above or below the knee, maybe finding a block. This pose is not about reaching the floor. We're really looking for this openness and length through the body. So this is a really beautiful shape because we're getting both the stretch, the length, but we're also feeling a lot of strength. I'm sure you can feel it. We're still keeping our bodies balanced here. We're still feeling the body kind of working to hold us upright. So breathing into whatever this experience is for you in triangle pose today. Let's take one more inhale here. Stay for your exhale. Right hand will travel down to your right hip. And then looking up towards that top left corner of your mat, start to reach your left hand. Bending into your left knee, rooting through your foot, take an inhale to prepare. As you exhale, hug in at the navel to help you lift your right leg, opening up into your half moon balance pose. So we're anchored down through that left foot. The foot is pushing down, the leg is strong all the way up into the hip. And then that right leg is doing the same. We're kicking out through that right heel, feeling that right leg engaging to help you lift it up. Now remember, this is not about any kind of perfection or any certain look in the pose. We're just experimenting with how your body wants to move and how you feel in these kind of funky shapes that we put ourselves into. So wherever you are, that is perfect for you today. Let's take another inhale. As you exhale, start to square off your hips and shoulders, bending into your left knee, and then reaching that right foot back, lightly landing into your lunge. Back knee lifted or lowered. Let's root down through the right palm. And with your next inhale, sweep your left arm to the sky, find a twist. Gently hugging your shoulder blades together on your back so that you can find a little bit more space across the chest. Letting your breath find that steady pace in and out through your nose. Let's take another inhale here. As you exhale, slowly unwind your twist. Left hand comes down. Stepping your left foot back to meet your right, let's find downward facing dog. Taking a breath in here and breath out. Option to stay right here, drop down to child's pose, or inhale to shift your weight forward and exhale to move through a little vinyasa here. Just linking your breath with your movement. And eventually landing back in that downward facing dog. And meeting back in downward facing dog if you're not already there. Let's take one more breath in and let it out with a sigh or sound. Shifting weight over to your left foot. Take an inhale, sweep your right leg up and back. As you exhale, bend your knee, open your hip. Now this time, option to stay right here, or we're going to take this over into our wild thing. So nice and slow, we'll start to bring the right leg back behind, dropping onto your right toes, coming to the outer edge of your left foot. Weight shifts to your left hand as you lift your hips, reach your right arm up and find a back bend here. So all the points that are touching the floor are really helping you to push up and away. Shoulder blades hugging together to open your heart, lifting your hips to the sky. Good, take an inhale here. As you exhale, slowly unwind. Inhaling into three-legged dog. As you exhale, knee to nose, step your right foot to the top of your mat. Beautiful. Gently drop your left knee down, coming to your low lunge. Then we'll start to heel toe that right foot to the left side of your mat. Let your right knee open to the right, setting up for our pigeon pose here. So a few things about our pigeon before we fold down into it. First things first, if you're feeling sensation in your knee or your hip, then you have the option to sit to one side, bend your left knee and bring it next to you instead. So it's going to take some pressure off of the knee when we do that. If you do want to stay with that left leg behind you, you also have the option to bring a prop underneath that right hip here. So just lifting the earth up to you, giving yourself a little bit more support. And then finally, you control the sensation here with how close that right heel is towards your body. So if you need less sensation, heel comes in. If you need more sensation, foot moves away. So with all that in mind, just take a moment to settle into that shape that feels best for your body. Always taking care of yourself here. And once you land, take a big breath in. As you breathe out, start to lower your upper body down over that right shin. Maybe staying on your palms for today. Maybe bringing your forearms or your forehead onto a prop. Or maybe you like to come all the way down onto the mat. Finding that place that feels best for your body. That place where you feel a stretch without any pain, pinching, pulling, anything like that going on. Now this is supposed to be a stretching pose, a relaxation pose of sorts, but for a lot of us this can feel anything but relaxing. So this is where we really bring the breath into the practice even more fully. Doesn't matter what shapes you put your body into, what really makes the experience of yoga is bringing in the breath and bringing in our awareness. So wherever you are, see if you can settle into stillness and just follow the flow of your breath. I am breathing in and I am breathing out. Letting go of any expectations of what your body should be able to do. And celebrating your body for what it is capable of. Celebrating your body for really nourishing you. And we'll spend about 5 more rounds of breath to really tune into that nourishment, tune into that awareness. Let's take one more inhale here. Nice slow exhale. As you inhale, slowly rise back up towards your palms, lifting your chest. Start to tuck your back toes, and we'll make our way back to downward facing dog. Moving in any way you want to move to get there. And as you arrive, it might feel nice to move around through your legs a little bit. Maybe shake your hips side to side. Might feel nice to take some circles through that right hip. Just check out how your body's talking to you here and what might feel good after that pigeon pose. And when you're ready, we'll meet back in downward facing dog to play with that on the other side. So shifting your weight to your right foot, inhale, left leg sweeps up and back. Exhale, bend your knee, open your hip. Staying right here or moving towards your wild thing. So dropping that left leg back behind you, coming onto your toes. Anchoring through right hand and right foot. And then opening your heart as you lift your hips, coming into a back bend here. Pushing up away from the mat, opening up the body, finding your breath. Let's take another inhale wherever you are. As you exhale, slowly unwind back to three-legged dog. We'll take an inhale here. As you exhale, left knee to nose, step your foot to the top of your mat. Right knee gently lowers down to the floor, finding your low lunge. Then let's start to heel toe that left foot towards the right side of your mat. Let your knee open out to the left. Once again, coming towards our pigeon pose. You know your options here. The first is to sit over onto that left hip and bring your right leg to your side. Same stretch, just less onto the knees. If you are staying with that right leg behind, maybe you bring a prop underneath the left hip. And then maybe you adjust the sensation by moving that left heel. And when you're ready to settle in, let's take another inhale to lift the heart. As you exhale, start to fold any amount over that left shin. So you'll probably notice that this left hip feels different than your right hip. You can take a different variation on this side than you did on the other side. Your yoga practice never has to be perfectly symmetrical because your body probably isn't perfectly symmetrical. So embracing those asymmetries, choosing whatever's going to feel best on this side of the pose. And then as best you can, settling into a comfortable position, relatively speaking. And allowing yourself to stay for a few rounds of breath. Once again, it might feel nice to follow that flow of your breath, helping you to keep your attention on your yoga mat and your body. And feeling how your breath brings so much nourishment to these postures. No matter where your body is, feeling your breath moving through your body, creating space. And allowing you to have an even deeper experience of this thing we call yoga. Let's stay for about 5 more rounds of breath here. Let's take one more inhale here. Nice slow exhale. As you inhale, slowly rise up onto your palms, lifting your chest. And then moving slowly here, we'll come to seated on the mat. So shifting your weight over towards that left hip, bringing your right leg around in front of you, and taking a moment again to move your legs in any way that feels good after that pigeon pose. So it might feel nice to kind of shake out the legs, maybe lift that left leg for a moment and move through the hip. Just see what your body needs right now. And then if you're not already there, scoot yourself towards that midpoint of your mat so you have some space behind you. And then lower yourself all the way down to lay on your back. As you arrive, take a moment just to feel your body supported by your yoga mat here. Might feel nice to draw your knees in towards your chest, wrap yourself up in a hug. Might even take a little rock side to side if that feels like a nice massage for the low back. And we'll all meet here with the knees hugging in towards the chest. When you're ready, you start to open your knees out wide as if you're trying to plug them into your armpits. And then bring your hands to the backs of your thighs. So see if you can just rest your upper arms on the floor. Maybe you find a pillow underneath the arms. And let your hands just be heavy on the thighs. And then keeping the knees where they are, start to kick your feet towards the sky. so that your ankles stack over your knees like you were going to squat on the ceiling. So coming into a variation of our happy baby here with the hands resting on the thighs. If you prefer to reach up for the ankles or grab your feet, feel free to go there instead. And we'll be here for about 5 more rounds of breath. So you might like to stay here in stillness, just letting your body slow down for a moment. You might like to play in this shape, maybe straightening the legs and then rebending. So see where you want to go today. Take some time to explore. Just feeling into the space of your hips here. And giving your body whatever feels most nourishing right now. Wherever you are, we have another breath in and breath out. Gently drawing your legs back together in front of your chest. This time we'll send the legs away from the chest until your knees just about stack over your hips. Arms can spread out into a T or a cactus shape with elbows bent, helping you to draw your shoulder blades underneath you. Find a little lift of your heart. And let's take another inhale here. As you exhale, start to lower your legs to the right side of your yoga mat, coming into a twist. First few breaths here, your time to readjust, move around. Maybe adding a prop underneath or in between the legs. Maybe repositioning your hips or your arms. Finding that place that feels most comfortable for your body here so that you can spend a few breaths here in stillness. So give yourself that opportunity to play around, find the shape that feels best for you, and eventually settling into stillness, maybe even closing your eyes or softening your gaze. And we'll stay for a few rounds of breath here. Allowing the weight of your body to relax into the support of the earth. Letting go of any effort in your body or in your breath. Inviting in a little bit more ease to your practice here. We'll stay for about 3 more rounds of breath. Let's find one more inhale here. Exhale completely. Gently drawing your navel towards your spine for support. Take your next inhale to come back through center, back onto your back. Pausing here for as long as you'd like, just feeling your spine on the earth. And when you're ready, we'll set up to take this twist on the other side. So knees just about stacked over your hips. We'll take an inhale here. As you exhale, dropping your knees to the left side of your mat and moving towards a twist. First few breaths, yours to readjust, add some props, do what you gotta do. Setting yourself up for the most comfort and ease on this side of your twist. Again, acknowledging that that might be slightly different than whatever you did on the other side. And eventually letting yourself settle into stillness. Eyes closed or gaze soft, relaxing the muscles of your face. And allowing yourself to be swept up in the flow of your breath. Each breath bringing you deeper into the present moment and deeper into the experience of being in your body, with no expectations of what that experience has to be, but being open to that unique and wonderful journey. And we'll be here for about 3 more rounds of breath. Let's take one more inhale here. Exhale completely. With your inhale, slowly bringing yourself back to center, back onto your back. And taking the next 10 rounds of breath to move or stretch in any way that feels good for your body. So no specific poses, no specific guidance from me, but allowing yourself to really listen to whatever your body is telling you right now. Creating any shapes or movements that might feel nourishing for you. And eventually letting that take you to your Shavasana, your final resting pose for today. So maybe your Shavasana is more of our traditional corpse pose with the legs extended, arms resting out by your sides. Maybe you'd like to take a different variation with your arms or your legs. And of course, you always have the invitation to bring props into your practice if that feels really nurturing for you. So finding that place where you want to stay for the next 5-ish minutes of our practice. Of course, you always have the opportunity to stay longer. And getting out any last little wiggles or movements so that you can bring yourself into stillness once more. Allowing your eyes to close if that feels safe and comfortable for you. Or perhaps keeping a soft gaze towards the ceiling. And just like we did at the start of our practice, take a moment to scan through your body from head to toe. Noticing how you feel. Noticing if anything has shifted since that moment that you stepped onto your mat. And really celebrating yourself for making your way to your mat today. For taking this time to be in your body and to hopefully get to know yourself a little bit better without the weight of judgments and expectations. Now letting your awareness come back to your breath And really taking this time to soak in everything that your yoga practice has to offer you today. Shavasana. Begin to bring your awareness back onto your mat and back into your space, feeling where your body is resting on the earth. And when you're ready, inviting some gentle movement back into your body. Starting small, wiggling your fingers and your toes, perhaps rolling your wrists and your ankles, and beginning to move and stretch in any way that feels good as you reawaken. Eventually using that movement to roll onto either side of your body. Taking a moment to pause here in this place of transition. And using your hands to press yourself up to a seated position on your mat. Let's meet in a comfortable seat, inviting your hands together to meet in front of your heart. I thank you so much for meeting me on the mat today. The light in me recognizes and honors the light in you. Namaste. Be well.